They will be doing a half scale block. This half scale block, you can either add it to, you can add it to a gown, like if you are doing a half cut for a gown, or maybe you want to attach your peplum at the edge. So this is what we'll be learning how to draft today. Like you all know, basic, our normal starting point. Let me do 1/2 inch. So now this is the front. We'll be drafting the front first before the back. So now all our vertical measurements, now I'm going to take them. Anything vertical is your straight, your length. Then your horizontal, is the right circumference, that's your round measurement. So now my breast point is 12 inches. My under bust is 16 inches. Then my half length is 20 inches. So now I'll repeat the same measurements here: 12, 16, then 20. Now okay, so how to get your bustier line or your chest line? Whatever I have in between here, in between my breast point and my under bust, I have 4 inches. So I'm going to take the 4 inches, I'm going to take it up here like this. So now my chest line is now 8 inches. My shoulder is 16 inches divided by 2, we have 8. You repeat what you have on your shoulder, you repeat it on your chest line here, like so. Then you connect your lines together, like so. Now there's what our neckline. Let's use the standard measurement of 3 by 3. You can now decide to modify it into any neckline you want. Yeah, this is 3 by 3. Then on your shoulder line here, you come down by 1 inch. By 1 inch then. So we'll now connect our lines together. This is our neckline for the front. Then you connect your shoulder together. So now, whatever you now have left, excluding the 1 inch, I have 7 inches left. So you divide it by 2, you get the middle, then you mark it. This is it. So now there's what we call across chest front and across chest back. So when you measure your across, I'm going to put a picture for you to know what I'm talking about. When you measure it, whatever it gives you, like in between this line, that is what you will now put. My round bust is 43. So I have 10.75. 10.75. This is it. We are not going to add any allowance to this. It's when you are now cutting it on your fabric that can add allowance. I just want to show you a normal basic block. Yeah, so what you will now do now is to connect from the starting point of this, your shoulder slope, like this. Then you now take it to where your breast, your round measurement for your bust is. So can you see? This is how to take your armhole measurement. This is how to calculate it. Now we're not going to come to our nipple to nipple. My nipple to nipple is 9 inches divided by 2. That is 4.5. You mark it on your breast point, then you take it down to your half length, that is your waist length. So you connect the lines together like so. Connect the lines together. Now you can decide to use, because this is just a normal basic block, you get, so let's use 0.75 on both sides. That's 1.5 inches. You can use half inches on both sides. Breast point here, you come down by 1 inch, like so. Come down by 1 inch. Then you connect it to your dart leg, like this, like this. Then the next thing now is to now get your bust dart. You know, for everybody, for every woman, our back and our front is not the same length because of our bust. Do you get? So sometimes some people can be, when you measure it, some people can be more than can be up to 3 inches, why some is 2 inches, why some is 1.5. But the basic thing is, people always use 2 inches. Like, let's say the way my half length now is 20 inches, I'm using 20 inches on this pattern, my back length will be 18 inches. So what you will now do is, in between this your bust point and your under bust, you get, I have 4 inches here, so I'm going to use 2 inches. So you mark your 2 inches on this side, like so, like this. You mark it here like this. Then on your bust apex or your bust point, you come out by 1 inch, like this. You come out by 1 inch, so you connect it from here to this place. So this is now your bust dart. It is maybe when you are not doing a bustier or anything, that is when you can take it from here to this place. But for a basic block like this, it is okay, like, because there's some clothes you want to sew, you don't need any shaping, like any bustier or princess line or whatever. You just need to hold your bust dart on this place, so you take it to this place. Yeah. So the next thing I will do is to just input my measurement. I already have 10.75 here. I will repeat the same 10.75 on this place. Yeah. Then on my under bust is 34 inches. 34 divided by 2, we have 8 inches, like this. My waist is 36. 36 divided by 4. Sorry, this is divided by 4. 34 divided by 4 is 8 inches. So 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. So we have 1.5 inches allowance here. You add it back to this place, because if you did not add it back, your fabric is going to, it won't be enough for you. Then whatever thing you have here, like this, I have 0.75, you add it back here like so. Then you connect your lines together. You can see the difference between my bust and my under bust is much. So some people will just take it straight down like this to avoid any, from your bust point, connect it straight down like this. So it is when you now want to start doing anything under bust tightening, that is when you can now use this measurement I'm talking about, like inputting your under bust and getting whatever that is left here is what you use as your under bust tightening. But this is just a basic bodice, like, so there's no need for anything under bust tightening. So now we've connected our lines together. Then so from here you take it, you just curve it a little, just take it up like this. If you've been following my tutorial for a while, you will know that I don't like doing like this. I don't like it when I'm slanting my shoulder, like when I'm connecting it from here to this place. Here it has to be straight, because the same thing you have here is what you have here. So you just connect it straight up here. From here, then you can now start taking whatever measurements, what we're connecting it to, however you want to. So now we are done. I feel we are done with our basic block for the front. So now let's close our bust dart. So what you will do is, you can decide to transfer the dart to your shoulder, or you transfer it to your dart leg here. This is how you transfer your dart. But if you are sewing a normal top or a gown that you don't need to to get any lines or to open your shoulder, or maybe you don't need to divide your paper or anything, this is just fine. Just cut it like this. Then you will just sew here. You will sew this place in between, like you just hold the two and sew it. That is that for for your bust dart. But this is how now to transfer it. If you are doing a bustier, let me show you how to transfer your bust dart. So you will get the middle line. you get the midpoint of your shoulder, from the shoulder here to where your neck width, to where it is. So you get the middle, the midpoint, you mark it, then you connect it to your bust apex or your bust point. Yeah, you connect it like this. So now let's close our darts, our bust darts here. So what you do is to, okay, so let me leave this shoulder, let's transfer it to our dart leg here. So you open like this, because if you do not open like this, you won't be able to fold that place. You open like this, you stop at your bust point here like this. Yeah, so we've opened our dart leg now. So now this one here, you will now slash it open. So you slash it open. Just slash it to the bust point. Like I said, if you are doing a bustier, that is, you slash it there, but don't take it through. Tape to tape it down. Tape it down like so. Yeah. So now you can now see that after closing the bust darts, we are short of allowance here. So now we are going to through this, we are going to cover it back, make up to what we lost here. So you will just take you take your ruler. Yeah, you take your ruler, then it's just small, it's not much. Why some people will be very much, you take it, then you just connect it like so. You can now see we just added that little that was short of, that place we got short of, because we do not have any allowance on this pattern. That's so anything you do, you have to make it up, you have to add it up. So now we are done with our basic. Okay, so guys, this is now our basic block for the front part. So now let's cut the back. Let's use 1 inch for our zip allowance. So you take your 1 inch, okay, so now you can now start your measurements after your zip allowance. So we use 8 inches, that's 16 for my shoulder. Let me start with our starting line first of 1/2 inch. Yeah, so now our bustier line, we use 8 inches. 8 inches. My back length is 18 inches. So this is it. Now, on our front, we use 4.5. 4.5 for my nipple to nipple. But on this back, we are going to add 1 inch to that 4.5. That will now be 5.5. That is 5.5. I will show you the reason why I did that. Now, my shoulder is 8. Yeah. So at the back, you come down by 1/2 inch. There's no need using 1 inch. The front we use 1, at the back we use 1/2. So our neck width was 3. Then the depth for the back is 1 inch. Like I said, you can decide to use any neck you want, but this is just the basic, the standard measurement, for neck. And then you connect it to your shoulder slope. Okay, now you can remember at the front, like this, when we divided here to here, we know we had 7, and it was now when you got the midpoint, it was 3.5. So that 3.5 is what you're not going to put here, like on this place, like this. You will not say because we remove ½ inch here, and you will now want to divide it into 2. By the time you do like that, you will now it will not be the same thing with the armhole at the front. So whatever you use here on the front at this down part is what you will repeat on your armhole line here. The back is usually ½ inch, just coming here by ½ inch. While some people, their across back measurements is almost the same thing, like with this line here. If it's like that, you can use it. But if you know that, oh, okay, your across back is 15 inches, just put it here. That means you came in by ½ inch. So our bust circumference is 43 divided by 4. That's 10.75. Now you have to now connect it from this ½ inch here. Take it to the shoulder. Then okay, so now this is how you get the armhole for the front. So now at the back here, we just use ½ inch on both sides. Then you can decide to come down here by 1 inch before you connect your lines, or you just take it up. It doesn't matter, whichever one works for you, like this. So the back, we are using 1 inch. My waist is 36 inches plus the 1 inch for our dart here. That is it for the back. Then you connect your lines. So now I said the reason why I added 1 inch to my dart, to my princess, my nipple to nipple measurement at this back here is that I normally take 1 inch inside here. This is our zip allowance, but from the zip allowance here, you go in by 1 inch here. You get, so you will now connect it. Why I normally do that is to just avoid any bulginess at the back. I tend to avoid it. This 1 inch is 100% contouring at the back. But if you know you don't want to use 1 inch, you can use 0.75. Just use 0.75 or 1 inch. Do you get? So that is the reason why I added 1 inch to my bust, to my nipple to nipple measurement here. I did 5.5 here instead of 4.5 that I did at the front. So you can see what I now have left here now is now the 4.5. So that is why I said when I get to this place, I will explain better for you. So now this is 100% contouring at that back. There is no bulginess whatsoever at the back. So I did this tutorial on purpose so that when I'm drafting, future back or whatever on a material, you understand the reason why I did this. So now we are done with our back measurements. So what you want to do is you can still, if you now want to take your zip allowance, you can see whatever we have here now is now shorter than the 1 inch for the zip allowance. You will just take still maintain your 1 inch. Still maintain your 1 inch all the way down. Like this. Maintain your 1 inch like this. Like this. Maintain it like this. Automatically, this new line that I just created now becomes your zip allowance. Don't bother about it when you say, won't the back fabric be short or won't it be shorter? If you know our back is always smaller than our front. Our front is big, while our back is is small, so it is not the same measurement. If you can take your tape and measure from your one bust to one bust and measure it from the back, you notice that the back is smaller. So if you want to get a fitted cloth, a perfect cloth, this is how you get it. So now this automatically becomes our zip allowance now. So let me cut it for you to see. So now we are cutting off that back thing we did. Okay, so guys, this is it. This is now your new zip allowance. This is now your new zip allowance. So we are done with the back. You can see by the time we close that at the front, can you see it? It is now the same thing. Look at the measurements here. The length is the same thing because of that 2 inches bust that we close. So this is your front and this is your back. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in my next tutorial. Bye. And please, normally I used to forget, please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, share this video, and please subscribe and turn on the bell so that you get notified anytime I post a new video. Thank you guys.